becoming intentionally controlling was a linchpin for me. And I guess I should break that down a bit. Um, so, learning, so let me say this. There's a lot of conversation around what you do not control. People talk all day long about you don't have control over other people, you don't have control over life, you don't have control over natural disasters or tragedy. There's a lot you don't have control over. And in the darkest, hardest times of our lives, that very helpful conversation starts to shift into something different where it is disempowering and you start to feel stuck. So if this is you, I hope you're finding your way to this video. There's some vulnerability right there. So there, it's extremely helpful to know what we don't control. We don't control the other people in our lives. We don't control our body's knee-jerk responses to things. There's a lot we don't control. What do we control? I had a therapist pose that question to me because I fell into that. I fell into that hole, where that common pitfall maybe, and I started to feel like I had control over nothing. And I had been listing all of the things that I had no control over. And she stopped me and she changed the conversation by the one question, what do you control? And I hadn't realized that in listing all of the things that somebody else controls or life controls, that I was giving away my own agency. So being intentionally controlling just means to control what you can, what is yours, and not to give that away to anybody else. And I think in our society we have this habit of saying, oh, you have letters after your name, and this is great, this is wonderful, there's a reason for it, right? And we go to the person with the letters after their name, whether it's a medical professional or a mental health professional, and we say, where are the magic pills? You went to magic person school. Well, it doesn't work that way. And the truth is, you are your own magic pill. You are your own ace up your sleeve, or whatever else you want to say. And yeah, it's really hard to say it just like that. So let me say it like this. As I started to notice things that I did have control over, like I used the example of knee-jerk reactions. We don't have the control over our body's immediate initial response to something, but we choose if we're going to speak in the moment or wait. We don't have control over whether we get a beautiful night's rest or not, but we do have control over when we go to bed, the circumstances under the circumstances under which we go to bed, when we wake up, all of these things, we have control over those things. And so moving from, okay, here's what I don't control. This is all life, circumstance, someone else, tragedy, you name it. I don't have control if I'm sick. I don't have control if I've experienced betrayal or abuse or divorce or loss of a loved one or any other form of tragedy, right? Like I don't have control over that. But I have control over this. And to then suss out what this is, huge. It's huge, because then you start choosing the specialist you want to see because they have the specialty that you know that you need. You start choosing a therapist with intention. You start choosing how you eat. You start choosing how you sleep, because you can choose those things. And those things, even though they're little and they don't seem like a big deal, when your world is falling and crumbling around you, I think I probably used the analogy of crumbling because I literally had a crumbling shower. Literally. And it felt metaphorical for everything else, right? And it was literally just little tiny pieces everywhere. It was a mess. When everything is falling apart, it's so easy to miss those little things, and to miss the importance of them, and to think they don't matter. And I think the little things, the things you do have control over, are essential. And for me personally, they started to move that dial in the direction I wanted it to go, the healing that I wanted to see for myself, because I started taking care of myself differently. I started seeing myself differently, and I started taking back control one thing at a time, because I was giving control over to everybody else because that was theirs, and it's out of my hands, and I don't have any control. I'm stuck is a terrible feeling. If you are feeling stuck, I grieve for you, because it is a terrible, terrible feeling. And my question for you is the same that the therapist posed to me years ago. What do you control? Where is your agency? I am praying that this reaches whoever needs it. Prayer is a thing for me. It's okay if it's not for you, but it is for me. And I hope that you find some peace in knowing that you can control something. And I hope you find some forward movement in learning what you do have control. And I would be interested if you felt like engaging and chatting. It's a new channel. I hope to keep doing these videos and meeting you, being part of your life and your journey, and sharing a little bit of vulnerability about my own.